come to order? Roll call.
Council Stephen Kamara. Council Kilby.
Yeah.
Chairman Pelletier.
Yeah. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit this meeting through intermedia. Attendees are therefore advised of such recording and transmission are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledgeable and permissible. Okay, we got the roll call. Anybody here for citizen input time? This is on Yellow Hill Road. That was referred 12/18/20. Okay, I have all parties that are involved to come to the table, please. Okay, could we have a name starting with Judge Macy?
Joseph Macy, Corporation Counsel, City of Fall River.
Curtis Nunes, real estate broker for the seller of 75 Yellow Hill Road.
Attorney Peter Solino, 550 Locust Street, Fall River, the attorney for the seller of 75 Yellow Hill Road.
All right, if Mr. Salino could fill in us on the detail of what's going on and what process that you'd like for us to see.
Thank you, Mr.
Steve's
Chairman. Hi, Steve.
And that's it?
What's that?
How come you said?
Excuse me?
All right, you all said that?
What was your 2B?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all right, we waited 4 minutes for you.
5:30.
You can record him as here.
I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Salino.
Okay,
or
so
Mr.
for
Macy,
purposes of tonight's presentation, my client is Agnes Croto. She owns property located at 75 Yellow Hill Road. I've passed out a plan to everybody. I have two parcels highlighted on that plan. One is the home located on Lot 3 of the plan. That's known as 75 Yellow Hill Road. The other is Lot 1 on the plan. In the kind of big picture here, the original deal was that Mrs. Croto was to sell 33.85 acres to the city of Fall River. That is the big parcel you see on the plan shown as Lot 4. As a consequence of that sale, which went through on in early March of this year, she was left with the remaining properties, Lot 1 and Lot 3. The city assessor characterized this parcel or these parcels as a whole as what's called chapter land, which is Mass General Law Chapter 61. It's agricultural land. And as a consequence, when you go to sell agricultural land, the city or town or the municipality, if you will, has a right of first refusal to buy it. And as a consequence, I wrote to you, Mr. Chairman, to ask to be on the agenda tonight so that we could obtain a waiver of the right of first refusal as it relates to the two highlighted parcels on this plan. The property that is known as or shown as Lot 4 was sold to the city on March 5th, 2019, and consequently, we now have a buyer for Lot 3. The purchase and sale agreement is $300,000, and so the fundamental question is, does the city wish to exercise its right of first refusal by buying Lot 3 as shown on this plan for $300,000? That's the option that you have. It is my understanding from speaking to Mr. Roth that Conservation and Planning do not want to exercise, and moreover that the assessors have voted not to acquire the parcel either, and obviously you've already acquired a substantial portion of the land, and I would submit to you that if you wanted to buy this additional land, you would have already. So we're here because we have a pending closing. We have a young couple that needs to close due to rate lock issues. Believe it or not, they're actually in the home because their home sold and they needed a place to go. So we're respectfully requesting that the city relinquish its right of first refusal on this parcel. I've prepared some waivers for signature at the full council later on, and if Judge Macy would like to add anything, certainly I'll defer to him.
Yeah, for the committee's reference, this situation was anticipated when the city bought the majority of the land. I think it's two parcels comprising close to 40 acres. And it was anticipated that the two lots would be cut out of the major portion of the property, and it was also anticipated that at some point, the seller would avail themselves of selling it. Now, I talked to Mr. Sullivan tonight, and he remembers the transaction the way I did. We anticipated that at some point, the seller, the subdivider, would convey it. We have the right to purchase it for the amount she's selling it for. If you divide it out per acre, we got a pretty good deal, but we knew that she would keep the more, we knew she would keep the more valuable portion of the property for herself, but the property that was conveyed to the city had substantial value to the city. So the long and the short of it is the city, subject to what the council wants to do, city departments have no desire to purchase or exercise the right of the city's reverter.
Make a motion to adopt the order.
Um,
Unless there's questions.
Well, I do have questions, but I don't mind the questions being part of the motion, so I'll second the motion for discussion.
Okay, Council Camara?
Just a couple of questions. On the Lot 1, is that also for sale? Or is it sold, or is it occupied?
No, it's not.
Not for sale?
It's just a vacant lot. It was part of the negotiation. I negotiated the deal
You
with
should probably use a mic just for the sake of, I don't know if that one reaches you. You might use.
Curtis Nunes again, broker for the seller. I negotiated this deal with, my main contact was Michael Abbasi. I understand he works for the water department, I think. The negotiation was that on that plan, the city would get Lot 4, as well as Lot 2, which is that triangle above the yellow, and that's what we sold to the city, 37 and a half acres total. Part of that negotiation was that we would keep 2 acres with the house,
Which is Lot 3?
which is Lot 3, and we also negotiated that we would keep a sellable, buildable Lot 1 for her to do as she pleases, to build on it, to sell it. She has not done anything with that
So
property.
Lot 1 is not occupied.
Right, it's just a vacant piece of land.
And then between Lot 1 and Lot 3, I don't know if there's a name.
That was part of the purchase. Those, what looks like 2 lots, which is really listed as Lot 2 there. Right, those 2 pieces, along with the large piece to the right.
Oh, that's
that-
all together?
That was all sold to the city already, 37 and a half acres
So
total.
this is city, Lot 2, and the lot between 3 and 1 is all city?
Correct.
Okay, and then how about this other lot,
That's another house,
a residence, that's occupied?
which happens to be the seller's son. He built a house there many years ago.
Seller's son. Okay.
It's now or formerly of Michael Croto.
Oh, yeah, Michael Croto, yep. Okay, that's fine. Where is the seller now? Does she live elsewhere, or does she live on one of these parcels, or what is?
She lives elsewhere in the town of Dartmouth.
Okay, nope, I have, as long as all folks have signed off on this, Mike Labasia has no interest in these lots, I'm assuming the one department.
If it was up to Michael Abbasi, he would have bought everything, but he was only allowed to buy that, with the money, 37 and a half acres.
Right. Okay, I have no further questions.
Well, it seems like the city don't need it. They don't want to spend the money. Doesn't make no difference. It seems that all parties seem to be happy. And if we can have a motion, we get letters that nobody else seems to need this property. So if we can have a motion and,
Yep, we have a motion.
or motions there. And a second, on the motion, we'll have a roll call.
Yep.
Roll
Steve?
call.
Yeah.
Counselor Stephen Kamara?
Yes?
Counselor Kilby?
Yes.
Chairman Pelletier?
Yes. Now, is there anything else you need? You don't need a letter from us, right?
No, once it
Okay.
goes, if it goes through the full council, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
I'll approve the order, we'll get it signed up, and they'll have a closing.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, minutes of the meeting. on February 27th.
Motion to adopt minutes?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to
Motion adjourned?
adjourn, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn. Thank you, guys.